Okej, hej allihopa och varmt välkomna till dagens webbinar. Superkul att se att vi har så många här i webbinariet. Idag ska vi prata lite om Rables lättviktsmontage, då vi har sett att det finns ett stort behov av den här typen av produkt på den svenska marknaden. Mitt namn är Daniel och jag jobbar som produktchef här på KP och ansvarar för panelerna och våra montagelösningar. Har ni några frågor under dagens webbinar så kan ni skriva dem i chatten, så ser jag till att fånga upp dem och så sammanfattar vi dem i slutet av presentationen helt enkelt, tänker jag. And without further ado, here's Wouter.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. I'm sorry, my Swedish is not that good, so I hope he was nice in his introduction to me, because I didn't understand much about it. But I'm here to tell you about the Rable system. Rable is a Dutch company. I will tell you more about that. I am the business unit manager and responsible for the partnership, the international partnerships, and especially my contact with KP. If you have any general questions or questions later popping up, you can always also ask me to look into it. I hope you guys will understand the system a bit better after this presentation. So let's first talk about the company itself. So we are Rable. We're a young company from the Netherlands. We are based in Delft. That's a small city in the Netherlands. And we have ambitious goals for the planet. We are focused on the built environment. That means that, of course, you can also have solar on the sea or at the water or inland, but we mainly focus on the built environment. So on buildings or parking lots, that's where our systems come. All our systems are based on the trust principle. And the trust principle, I will tell you more about that later, but you can see the trust principle in bridges or in cranes. That's the triangle that you see my colleague here standing beside. That's for strength and stability. We are really sourcing everything from Europe. So we are a Dutch company, but all our products are sourced from Europe. Okay. I first want to start with the problem statement. The problem statement is, we in the Netherlands, we developed the system because we found out that the problem of weak roofs with limitations, is quite big. So in the Netherlands, 52% of the roofs are, without modifications, are unsuited for solar panels. In Sweden, the problem appears to be even bigger. So there was an article recently coming out that KP also shared. That's where I got the information from. But the roofs with limitations, so with some minor adjustments needed, is really big. So 60% of the commercial flat roof buildings, they have some kind of limitation. The problem with the roofs is normally not that they cannot bear any weight, but it's the plates. So in between the beams, you have the plates laying, and that is where where it cannot bear any weight. So if you look at the picture here, you can see the big beams, and they can normally support quite some weight, but the plates in between cannot. So if you place traditional mounting systems on top of it, normally that's where the problem occurs. So that's where it starts to bend, and it does not go well. So to visualize it a bit more, so in the Netherlands you have data available where you can see what are suited buildings and what are not, where are solar panels and where are not. So based on the article that I saw, is that 40 terawatt hours are currently possible with the roofs that are suited, but 20 to 60 terawatt hours is possible as an extra. So it might be even more than the current possibility if you take on Rable. I looked it up, and it's more than enough electricity for entire Sweden. So with the Rable system, it is the market is enormous. Normally, we always get a question like, "Okay, you are operating in a niche market. So if we start working with your products, how many roofs can we do? It's a lot. In the Netherlands, it's even so big that the total battery market is just as big as the potential with Rable. So the niche market is not so niche. So if you count up everything, 90 million solar panels can be placed extra if you just use the Rable system. So the roofs that are interesting with the Rable system are roofs within the snow zone 2.5. I will tell you more about that later, because we found out that 85% of the inhabited area is up until snow zone 2.5. The roof with Rable, we can take up an inclination of the maximum of 10 degrees. More than that could be done, but then our technicians need to look into it, because more anchors should be used. But normally 10 degrees or less is no problem with the Rable system. Normally when we encounter roofs that, normal mounting companies, for some of our competitors, that they have problems with, those are roofs with isolation or limitations to the roofing plates. So also isolation, because of our unique approach, is no problem for the Rable structure. So those are the roofs that you need to look out for if you want to use our system on roofs. So there are some alternatives. If you look at the total market, there are alternatives possible for roofs that cannot bear any weight. So you have foil solar panels. You can of course reinforce the roof. You can use traditional anchored systems, or normally if you use a traditional system in combination with lightweight panels, that is also something. Then you have less weight on the roof. More about that in a bit. But there are alternatives to our system. With roof reinforcements, normally it is, in Netherlands it's in euros, but normally it is about the same price as 3 times the mounting structure if you want to reinforce the roof. So it's quite expensive if you want to reinforce the roof, and normally that's the moment where the building owner says, okay, my roof is just simply not suited, the business case does not make sense. So roof reinforcement is quite expensive. Something else that is not always taken into account is if you have a big factory or something that if the activities take place, then you must also shut down the entire production line, because if you are producing and some guys are working on the roof, you do not want anything to fall down. So also production stops. It's quite costly. Then the foil panels. Those are really, really light. They can be glued, but the output is way less. So if you want to generate some solar power, the foil panels, in the Netherlands, they tried it, but a lot of those foil panels that have been placed in the past are now currently being removed, because they are not generating as much yield as they expected. And also because the inclination is less, we always place our system in an inclination of 12.5 degrees. Normally dirt accumulates on those panels, so those panels will generate less and less every year. Then you have the traditional anchored systems. Normally anchored systems, you need quite some anchors if you want to do it correctly. I will tell you more why we use way less anchors. Of course, you also need to anchor the system, but it's a fraction in proportion to the traditional ones. Normally, the standard is 0.8 anchor per panel. If you go in a higher wind zone, you need even more anchors. We know some systems that go up until 1.5 anchors per panel for a system. And then you have a lot of holes in the roof. Because normally it goes all right, you won't have leakages. But if you do, it's quite hard to find the anchor that is causing the problem. So also, in terms of risks and the building owner being concerned about some limitations, this is something that we are quite different to. Then the latest solution, lightweight panels. We also work with lightweight panels, but in our case, if you want to go really low to like 6 or 7 kilos per square meter, then you can use the lightweight panels, but you would also need some more anchoring. It's still a fraction, but normally if you use lightweight panels with traditional systems, the panels are more expensive, but you need or a lot of anchors or more ballast, because the lightweight panels also have the tendency to have a bigger uplift than the traditional systems, traditional anchors. So all in all, you have some solutions, but they all have their own problems. That's where we come in. So compared to all these systems, we stand out. It's quite easy to execute, and of course, price is a thing, but compared to the other ones, for the difficult roofs, the total business case makes sense. So, okay, then Rable in general, I will zoom in on the system itself in a bit, but first the Rable technology. So we are really an innovation for the weak roofs. We are focused on the commercial and industrial roofs. Sometimes people also want to use us on residential roofs, but the system is quite big. So our smallest system that we are selling via KP, it is the Rable for roofs. So 2 panels up, 2 panels down. It is really meant for the bigger installation. So from 50 panels up is normal, but in general we do like 300, 400 panels on a roof. That's more the normal figures that we aim for. The thing is, a lot of the building owners, they have heard at some point that their roof is not suited for solar. We are quite unknown in the market. We're getting some traction. We're getting more brand awareness. But it is really a blue ocean opportunity. There are not many installers that are focused on this market. Most of the installers are focused on batteries or use some other systems, but our system is the only one that is really focused on the overspan. There are some competitors that are looking similar, but we are really the only ones that are using the truss and could realize an overspan of up to 25 meters. So it is really, if you encounter a building that is that has a weaker roof, or you focus on it and you approach them, you can really see that it's quite an easy market to pick up upon. So another benefit, because we always say that our main competitor is the constructor to the roof, the reinforcement of the roof. But for the installer, you don't need roof reinforcement, so all the revenue goes to the installer. It's not an external party that you need to hire, because all the revenue goes to the installer. We know that our problem is or solution is a bit more technical, so we have our technicians always standing by. And also because the projects and the buildings are normally, they have some construction reports, they have some more, they need a bit more attention than the easy roof. So our technical support is always ready. So if you need help with an insurance company or a constructor that still needs some motivation or some convincing, let us know. We are happy to do it. We are also used to it. So in the Netherlands, we have a good relationship with a lot of constructors that need to approve our system for the roof. So this step, we are used to this step. So it's really not a problem. So then more about the truss structure itself. So if you look at the system, we have like these triangles that I told you about that are in bridges or in cranes, and we use the steel cable for maximum stability. So our system is really rigid. Normally, if the temperature increases or decreases, the system tends to move. So we have the cable. If the roof bends a little bit, it's still straight and it's still rigid. The reason that we did this is if we didn't, you would have the possibility that the end would bend a little bit. You don't want that because then you still have a pressure point on the plates. So that's why we use the cable for absolute rigidity. if you look at our system, the weight distribution is equal about in the entire system. So it's really a block on your roof. If you look at the total system, so if you have 12 kilos or 13 kilos that the total system weighs, it is that weight on every location. And it just because of the overspan, if you see the image that I'm showing you on the bottom, you see the little squares. Those are meant to be beams, and all the weight is really focused on those beams. So with traditional panels, the panels are the most heavy of the entire system. Our system itself is 3 to 3.5 kilos. So the total system is 3 kilos plus the weight of the panel. So if you use the lighter panels, ICO for example, you can really go down to 6 or 7 kilogram per square meter. It's really light. Normally roofs, they can hold up to 15 kilos, but yeah, there are some exceptions and we are ready for it. If you look at the anchors required, because our system is so rigid, it is such a block on the roof, I always joke about that you need a lot of anchors with traditional systems because they are not one solid block on the roof. It is with our system, or the entire system would come off, would be lifted, but it is normally you see that if you watch videos of solar panel installations that are being thrown off roofs, you can see like a wave movement through the field. You can really see it bend at some point, and then at some point it breaks, and then the panels will get flown off the roof. That is simply not possible with Rable. So we just need to anchor the corners. So only the corners need anchors. I always use the example of 100 panels in a nice block on the roof. 4 anchors is enough. Only the corners, that's it. If you have some kinds of obstructions or something, then you also need an anchor there, because then you have not a nice square on your roof. So that is the situation where a bit more anchors are used. So this is also something we are focused on the technical side, but since we use so few materials and our system is so rigid, you don't have a lot of items that you need to connect together. I will get back to that on the next slide, but it's really quick to install. So you can install up to 50 panels per hour per person. It's really scalable. If you set up one line of the roof, everything is connected, and the center size is the same size as the panel. So it's really fast to install and really scalable. So you just put up an extra side and you can place even more panels. Durable is also something. It is our entire thing is made of magnetic steel. It's also really durable. Even so that the building where we are located in Delft, it's a temporary building. It will be demolished in 10 years. Our system can just be picked up and relocated. There are no weak points in our installation. So, like I said, we have only a few components. We have the sides; those are the pincers on the bottom. They can fold out. Then you have the center. The center is the middle thing. That is the same size as the panel. And then you have the cable that you connect in between the centers. So we looked into the Swedish market, and we saw that most of the Swedish population live in up until the 2.5 snow zone. So we are focused on that. If we would do the higher snow zones, our technicians really like it. They like a challenge, but then the system would increase in price a lot. But it's more to show you that we really looked into this. We really looked into the Swedish market, and we can go up to 2.5 snow zone 2.5. Okay, and this is something new, also something new for KP. So this is for me something I'm really proud to share. We were calculating how many anchors we needed, and we did some wind tunnel testing. The thing is, in Sweden, the snow zones are quite different than in the Netherlands. You have more snow zones than we do, but sorry, not snow zones, wind zones. The wind zone is it is easier, or there is less of a problem with wind in Sweden than it is in the Netherlands. So we saw that there are some wind zones in Sweden where you do not need anchors at all. So it is with a big side note, because there are some rules. The slope should be less. It is not possible to 10 degrees, but it's up to 6 degrees. So also a field must be pretty big, because the total. So if you look at the weight per square meter, it's really low, but the total weight of the total installation is quite a lot. So because our system is so rigid, if you have a big field of at least 15 times 15 meters, it can be on the roof without anchoring. And it must be continuously connected. Standard panels should be used. We are also a big fan of the lightweight panels, but the lightweight panels are just, then you would need an even bigger field, because the total weight on the roof would not be sufficient to cover it. There are some side notes, as you can see, but if you have a project, let our technicians look into it. Because it is possible that if the project is big enough, you do not need any anchoring, and I think that will really be a game changer, because normally anchoring is also a point that the building owner does not really like. So I'm happy to share this. This is something really new that we're really proud of. We did not share it anywhere else, so you guys are the first ones to hear it. What's also a thing, we calculated it for 50 years of wind calculations. Sometimes the insurance company or the constructor is okay with a shorter period. So if we calculate it for the extreme winds of the last 25 years, it is even possible to use even less anchors, or make it possible to use to not use any anchors on more roofs, but that is dependent. So we calculated worst case, just to show you that it's possible even for 50 years. But so that's my small disclaimer. Then something about the process. Normally when installers have a project, it is quite different than the process with the Rable portfolio. So if you design the layout plan, if you use our calculator, then it's quite easy to draw everything. This is the same as also traditional systems. You download the project, you see the weight distribution, and so far nothing different than a normal process. The thing with our system is the anchoring. And because we are now also, I just showed you that you sometimes don't need anchoring. If you want to use the setup, send it to our technicians. We are pretty fast at seeing how it is set up, but we will make some final adjustments if needed, and then you will get our signature that the project plan is totally approved, and it goes back. Then, because normally the roof is not suited, then you need validation with the constructor. So if the constructor understands our system in one time, then that's perfect, but that is not normally the case. Normally the constructor has some questions, and we are happy to join you in the meeting with the constructor. We are also happy to join you in the meeting with insurance company. So just let us know. It's really not an effort. Some installers feel a bit scared to ask us, but we have people for that. They are hired for it. So please do involve us in that process. If you have an agreement from the constructor, then normally it's if the constructor says yes, the installer says yes. That is really the end user says yes. So it's really a fast process. If the constructor gives us gives us validation, then the building owner normally is amazed that it is possible, and then it will get approved. So if you then order all the products with KP, we're good to go. But normally, what we notice is the biggest delay in the whole process is that we do not get involved soon enough, and that the project will get sent to the constructor. The constructor does not understand, and it lays on a shelf for a month. So if you want to speed it up, involve us. That's just something we are really we really want to share that with you. Then something about our calculator. Our calculator is set up as easy as possible. You can design your own project here. You can mess around. The thing is that we also have the support available. So we have a dedicated person that really is happy to set up a one-on-one meeting to show you everything. Happy to also make the project together with you. Normally it takes 1 or 2 times before the calculator is totally understood. So just sign up for an online consult. It's just a Teams call. You can ask all the questions that you want, and you will get all the explanation that you need. That's that. If you are more a person that wants to figure it out himself, also fine, but just send us the report afterwards so we can check. And if you get it back and there are some adjustments that you do not understand, you can always sign up for the calculator training later. We are ready. So this is normally what you get. If you do the you will get a report. There are a lot of pages on it, but also you can then see the bill of materials. So you see the number of centers, sides, middle clamps, end clamps, cables. You can see everything that you need for the project at the end. So it's not in the calculator, but it's in the report that you get afterwards. Also, all the necessary numbers that you need for the insurance companies are also in this document. And if you need any help translating this document, let us know. I would like to emphasize on some frequently asked questions. I understood that there were also some questions about cables, so I will go into that. First, I want to emphasize this picture that I also included on the screen. So what you see here is a roof that is normal. A traditional mounting system has been placed on top, and what you can see is that the roofing plate is bending a little bit, and even on the right side you can see that the roof is being reinforced. So this is a real problem, and this is the problem that we do and that we solve. So if you look at our system, we focus on the beams. So you place it on top of the roof, and it realizes the overspan just on the beams itself. So you would never have this problem because there would not be any real pressure on the plates. Panel size is possible. The easy answer is every panel size is possible with our system, but we do because it is quite the snow loads in Sweden are a bit high, so we recommend panels that are up until 2 meters. We are working on a system that also does the long side clamping, because right now we only have the short side clamping. So long side clamping is coming up for Sweden because we know that the Swedish market would like the long side clamping. But for now, we would recommend to use panels below 2 meters in length. We just make the center the same size as the panel, and we can do that quite easily. There's also not a price difference in the center sizes. Then about the cables, so there are 2 questions always that we get from the cable that we use. The cable is really thin, and we have a demo set up on our own roof that is constantly monitoring the effect of the cable on the installation. So if you look at the shading of the of the cable on the panels itself, it is less than 3%. So if you compare it to a bird flying over, normally the poo of a bird gives more shading than the cable itself. So it's always this easy comparison. The cable hotspots, because the cable is from metal. Sometimes people are a bit anxious about the reflection that the cable gives on the panels. Does it generate hotspots? We tested it with a heat monitoring tool. The degree, there's 1 degree temperature difference if you look at the panel with the reflection. The nice thing is that the sun is moving, so it's not a constant. It's not constantly on the same spot that the reflection is. So it's really minimal. We also sometimes get questions like, your system is really big. What if you have an obstacle somewhere? Could you take a panel out? Or how easy is it? Is it flexible? The answer is yes. It's really easy to just leave out 1 or 2 panels to set up the system. It's not necessary to put a panel everywhere. So that is an easy question. Also, with our system, because it is so rigid, you need dilatation. So if you wouldn't have this, normally you would have in the center of the roof, you would have some kind of bending point or something, and that's also a normal dilatation spot. But if you place on a really big roof, if you place our system, then you would need to have some space in between the fields, let's say. And that's normally every 60 meters. So I would like to showcase some of our projects. If you look at our system, we can do really big installations, but we sometimes also do some smaller ones. If you look at the bottom right of all the images, I hope it's visible. But normally, if you look at gas stations, a lot of gas stations, they have solar panels like on some different setup, like on a field, or they made a car park next to the gas station, because normally on the roof of the gas stations, it is simply not possible to place panels. They have their construction, they have steel beams on their roof, but in between are just metal sheets. It's really light, and normally it cannot bear any weight. Our system is set up in such a way that you really only use those beams for weight, so it only has the overspan. It is not even needed to have connection to the plates underneath. You can just put it on the beams itself. So it's possible to even on roofs that were similar previously that could not have any solar panel, or you would just need to build a roof on that roof to start with. With our system, it was possible to also place solar panels on that roof. That is just because we solely focus on the overspan of that system, of that roof. I think the further setup is quite easy to spot. So I will continue to everything we have. So if you look at our total output, so for Sweden we have the Rable for roofs available. This is for 95% of the roofs, Rable for roofs is possible. It generates the Rable for roofs could have an overspan of up to 10 meters. Normally the beams are separated. The distance is 4.8 meters. So for 95% of the roofs, the Rable for roof is totally suited. But we just want to highlight that it is possible to also use the bigger brother of that system that goes up to 25 meters. But that is really big. So it's also something that because it is well, it is also really easy to set up, but we want to highlight it that it's really possible to do pretty much every roof in Sweden. So if you have a project that really needs a Rable 8 roofs, please contact KP. Because it is possible. We have it in our portfolio, but this is really big to transport, so it will not be standard, but we can ship it if it's needed for a project in Sweden. What we're also busy with is the Rable 10 car parks. Rable 10 car parks is something that we know that is not that much in demand in Sweden, but we want to highlight it anyway. It is a system that consists of modules. Normally with the car parks, it's really expensive to put the foundation up. So all the pillars, they need to be reinforced. Because we are working with the truss structure, you need way less pillars. So a lot less founding from the pillars is needed. So if you look at the total system, it is a lot cheaper because the foundation of that system is normally the most expensive part of a car park. So if there's ever a question, we can also do that with truss structure. It is for us because of our approach. This is something that we also stand out in. What I do want to highlight about the system, the Rable 4 roofs, we use a lot of metal because if you look at the rigidity of the system, you need a lot of metal to prevent it from bending. This is also one of our big benefits, but I also have to say that it makes our system a bit more expensive than some of our competitors. If you look at the total business case of the Rable system, because of what I said in the earlier slides, if you compare it to reinforcing the roof or placing a lot of anchors or doing other things, that is so if you look at that business case, there are a lot of additional costs. So the system itself may cost a little bit more to place it, but looking at the total business case, we make sense. But it is also something I want to emphasize. If you can place a traditional system on the roof, normally Rable is not the best alternative. So if you look at weaker roofs, then we almost have no competition at all, and it's really easy to use the Rable system. But if you can use a traditional system, normally we will lose on price on that one because we use so much more metal than our competitors, and that's also where our price point lays. So I just want to emphasize that we are a really good solution for a lot of roofs that are normally not suited, but not if normal systems are possible. I think I now told you pretty much everything about the system. I don't know if there are some. I'm now looking at my own presentation, so I did not see if any questions popped up.
We don't have any questions so far, but I guess that's because you pretty much covered it all. It was a great presentation.
Thank you.
I do have one question though.
Yeah.
And it's why do you think that some are still hesitant to adopt the lightweight solution, even though it has some proven benefits?
Yeah, it is. It's more installers are not, all the parties involved are not used to it. Normally, if you look at the building owners or the constructors, if you have been told time and time again that it is simply not possible to place solar on top of the roofs, normally it's really hard to convince all the people that it is now possible. Rable is active on the market for 1.5 years now, almost 2, and the people involved are simply not aware that we exist. So we really have to explain the system. But thank you for the question. I hope I answered it now.
Yeah, of course. Do we have any other questions? All right. If not, I want to thank you, Wouter, and Rable as well for doing this presentation. I think this system is a big enabler for a lot of the weak roofs, not only in Sweden, but all around the globe.
Thank you.
And for you guys that's been to the webinar, I also want to inform you that we have some upcoming webinars as well, among others with ICO, Raleigh, and then as well with TJB. So please tune in for those as well.
Thank you very much.